It's confusing. It's so confusing. Your 20s is going to be the most confusing time of your life. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Deja Joy bringing you another video. First, before we get into this video, if you are new here, welcome. If you are not new here, that means you are a part of this family, this squad. I see you, boo, and I love you. If you are new here, I would encourage you to subscribe. This family is growing quickly and we would love to have you on board. Today I'm doing a video on surviving your 20s, because your 20s, if you don't know, if you're not already there, or if you are there and you just got here, or if you've been here for a cool little minute, then you already know that your 20s are a war zone. If you are not prepared, your 20s could eat you alive. I've been in my 20s. I know the game. I've been in my 20s for 7 years, and I know the game pretty well at this point. Being in my 20s and being in my upper 20s, I could pretty much help you guys. I can pretty much help anybody on this path right now. If you know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about some of these things, then definitely let me know in the comment section. So first things first, in your 20s, too much is expected of you. And then not enough is expected of you. So too much being that, oh, you should know better. You should know what you want out of life. You should know better. You know the rights from the wrongs, and, you know, not making certain mistakes and stuff like that. Too much is expected of you. You should already know what you want to do with your life for the rest of your life. You should basically have it down already. You should be settled in your mind what you want to do, what you want to be, who you want to be, who you want to do for the rest of your life. Like, too much is expected of you. But then on the other hand, nothing is expected of you. You are still too young to be considered grown. Like, you're considered an adult, but you're not considered grown. You're too young to know about life's experiences. And I say that in quotes because there are people that's going through things from childhood, teenagers, and young 20-year-olds. Like, there are people that are in their adolescent years going through things. So you don't need to be 40, 50 years old to have life experiences and to know life's challenges. Life's challenges for some of us start really early when we're kids. That's why I say at this time, people are expecting a lot from you, but then they're expecting nothing from you at the same time. They still expect you to be an adult, but act like a child, if that makes sense in any way. And this leads me into my next point. This goes hand in hand with what I was just talking about. You're not a real adult, but you're not a child anymore. So it's like you're in limbo, like, what are you, where do you fit type of thing in society, because you're not a real adult. People don't look at you as a real adult. They look at you as like a child pretending to be an adult. What's that called? The imposter syndrome. The imposter syndrome. Like, you're a child pretending to be an adult, but then you're not a child either. So they don't expect you to act like a child. They expect you to act like an adult, but then they don't treat you like an adult. It's confusing. It's so confusing. Your 20s is going to be the most confusing time of your life. Like, I'm convinced. I can't say anything about being 30 yet because I'm not 30 just yet. But being 20 is the most confusing time in your life. And if you're not there yet, full warning, boo. I'm sorry to break it to you, but your 20s are going to be the most confusing time in your life. You may believe being a teenager is. No. It's a lie. It's a trap. Your 20s are the most confusing time in your life. When you cross 21, you are now able to you're a legal adult now. So you were considered an adult when you were 18 years old, yes, but not legal, okay? You're not legal until you're 21. But you can't rent a car until you're 25. So you're still not an adult. You're still not independent enough. They don't trust you to be independent enough to rent a car. So it's a confusing time. You're an adult, but you're still not a real adult. Like, you got some growing to do. You got some life to live in society's mind for you to ever be considered a real adult. I feel that people won't consider you to be a real adult until like your 40s. Like, until you get to your 40s, as soon as you hit 40, I feel like that's when you are considered a real adult. That's what I consider a real adult. I don't even feel like 30-year-olds are like real adults. I feel like that's the time where you start to settle down. You start being sure in who you are. When you are in your 30s, you starting to figure out like what you want and stuff like that. That's a video for when I turn 30, because again, I'm not there yet. But I do feel like your 30s is still like okay, I'm coming into myself type of thing. But you're not really a real adult until you hit 40 years old. You know, older adults are looking at us like, you are a child, boo. Like, get out of my face. When I was turning 26 years old, my mentor, he was like, oh, you're still a baby. Like, I don't take you seriously. No, he takes me seriously, but he was just like, oh, you're still a baby. You're going to have a lot of that. So, like, going for jobs will be a lot harder for you, especially if you are skilled in a certain type of thing, or if you're trying to become skilled in a certain type of thing. You will face challenges being a 20-year-old, because these baby boomers are not going to want to give you a chance. They are going to look down their nose at you. They're going to believe that you're incompetent, because in their eyes, you are still a child. You were just eating PB&J sandwiches, watching Courage the Cowardly Dog, playing booty tag. Like, you were just doing all of these things. And let me tell you, I still do all of these things. Like, I still do all of these things. I'll literally be sitting in bed like, okay, do I want to watch HGTV or do I want to watch Scooby-Doo or Looney Tunes? Like, it could go either way, okay? One, you were just a child. You were just a kid. Especially if you are going from your teens, if you're going from being a 19-year-old to being 20, you were literally just a child. And maybe for some of y'all, that just happened yesterday. You know, like, you literally just crossed from being a teenager to being a 20-year-old. Now people are expecting you to have your ish together. But you're going from like doing all of this childish stuff to now going off to college. And maybe you're going off to college from high school. I went straight off to college from high school. I already knew what I wanted to do. People expect you to know what you want to do for the rest of your life. It's a trap. Y'all, when I tell y'all, high school is a trap. When I was a senior in high school, and when I was a junior in high school, I think all throughout my high school, all of my teachers had me do this. They would have us write down our 5-year plan. I know for senior year, we had to do this. I had to write down my 5-year plan. What did I see myself doing and being at 25 years old? I had to choose what I wanted to do as a career. As an 18-year-old, I had to figure that out for myself. I had to know what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I had to write down a 5-year plan and have my whole entire life figured out. So then when I became a 20-year-old and stuff wasn't going the way that I expected it to, the things that I wrote down when I was a senior in high school, that wasn't coming to fruition. I was just like, what is this? Like, I expected me to own my own house. I expected me to be balling, shot calling, okay, y'all? I expected me to have bins on bins on bins, stacks on stacks on stacks, racks on racks on racks. I expected me to be married with children. Like, y'all, I have my whole life figured out, okay? Credit score 800, okay? I had it all figured out because my teachers was just like, you gotta figure this out because it's coming and you gotta be prepared. Let me bring y'all back to earth. Don't listen to your teachers. Don't listen to anybody that is making you plan out your whole entire life. Your 20s is the time for you to figure it out, not the time for you to have it all planned out. It's the time for you to figure it out, not have things set in stone, because things change, People change, you will change, your mind will change. Things that you used to love, you may now hate, you may despise it now. Things that you used to despise and hate and had no interest in, those may be the things that you are the most passionate about now, wanting to make a career out of. This is the time where you figure these things out. Not in high school on a 5-year plan, not your freshman year of college and you're trying to find your husband or your wife. Like, no, you don't figure this stuff out at this time. Your 20s, all up and throughout your 20s, from 20 to 29 years old, you are trying to figure it out. Who am I? You don't even know who you are yet for you to be a teenager trying to plan out your whole entire life. You don't even know who you are yet. Being a 21-year-old adult, being a 24-year-old adult, which you can't even freaking rent a car yet. You don't know who you are at this time to have your whole life figured out. You won't have your life figured out. And trust me, your peers don't have it figured out either. The ones that are getting straight A's in school, the ones that seem like they know what they want from plan A to plan Z, things change. People are scared just like you are scared. Everyone is fumbling and tumbling throughout their 20s just like you are. They may seem more accomplished. They may seem like they have it all together. Their career, their families, they're settling down and all of this stuff. They may seem like they have it all together, but baby, trust me, they are just as scared as you are. In your 20s, you will be pressured to settle down, find your mates, and to start a family. You will be so confused about that because you're still seeking yourself, and now you're trying to tell me to seek my spouse. You're trying to tell me to now seek another person, and I'm trying to seek myself. You end up rushing into relationships that are not for you. Maybe you guys are for each other, but it's just the wrong timing because they're learning themselves. You try to figure out yourself. And maybe you guys may try to stumble your way through the relationship until y'all make it work. Or maybe you guys may come together at a later time where you guys are, both better prepared to be with each other. This will be the time where people are expecting for you to marry and to have children. People will pressure you on dating. Dating is a whole nother story. But this will be the time where family, friends will start to pressure you, and then you will start to feel like once you see your friends getting married and pregnancy announcements and stuff like that and starting businesses, you will start to feel like, okay, am I ahead enough, or am I running really slowly in this race? Am I the last one in this race? Now in America, I cannot speak for all the other countries, but I know for Americans, in America, our school system, our college university system, people are not graduating within 4 years. People are graduating 6 to 8 years. So you may still be a college student. You may still be out here getting your degree, and people are trying to pressure you into starting a family. You can't even afford avocado toast, and now you want me to raise a child? And then it's crazy because it's like half of your friends are getting married, they're settling down, they're having children, buying houses and stuff, and then the other half of your friends are drunk in college before their 8 a.m. class. They drunk out their mind. They just living their best lives. So it's so confusing because you like, which part of the spectrum am I supposed to be on? For myself personally, I have felt that way. What side of the spectrum am I supposed to be on? Which is crazy because I ended up marrying. I was a college student. I had not yet graduated from college, and I ended up marrying So I was a married college student. It felt like I was in a league of my own. I didn't feel like I really had anyone to relate to being married and in college because, again, when you're single, it's like, okay, you see your friends getting married and half of your other friends are drunk out their mind. But when you're married and in college, half of your friends are encouraging you to be the best spouse you could be, and then the other half of your friends are like, girl, you still young, live your life, like we finna go turn up real quick. And then you end up doing everything. You end up doing both. You end up trying to be the best spouse you could be and living your best life. Okay, it's crazy. It's a challenge trying to juggle all of that. And so to be forced into that type of situation, it's like, pause, okay, pump your brakes, okay, because I'm just trying to graduate. I'm just trying to find myself, be the best version of myself that I could possibly be, and I don't need you trying to pressure me into being this adult that has everything figured out. Like, just let me stumble through life real quick and I'll get it together. I'll land on my feet one of these days, but right now it's not the time for me to do that. Don't let nobody pressure you into that, because it's a lot. And although I love being married and I loved being in college and, you know, in my 20s and stuff, because I get to do everything, I wouldn't change it for the world, actually, because everything that I ever wanted to do, I could do it with my best friend, which is my husband. I dreams and everything with my best friend, my husband, my spouse. I went through college. I finished college with my husband by my side. I want to travel the world with my husband. Like, we're children. Let me tell you, being in your 20s and being married is like two big ass kids that got married and now everything is lit, because everything is lit. Y'all still kids. Y'all still young kids. Y'all figuring out life together and all that stuff. It's fun, but it's a lot. And you shouldn't be pressured into that type of stuff. You shouldn't be pressured into all of that stuff. You really have to weigh the pros and the cons and see, like, is this for you? It's not for the faint of heart. I'm just let you know that. Aside from being pressured into starting families and stuff, you are pressured into owning property, owning a business, starting a business, having your credit score above a 700. And then you see your peers around the same age doing that, and you're like, man, I'm really falling behind. I don't have my stuff together. I'm just like, woe is me. First of all, most of us that are not supported by rich parents, most of us could literally only afford a tall drink from Starbucks and maybe a bagel. And you try to tell me to own a house? These are different times. The game is rigged. What's expected now should just all be tossed out the window. Because one, baby boomers are not giving millennials a chance. One. So we can't even get ahead in this rat race, but we're expected to run the rat race the same way baby boomers did. It doesn't even make any sense. We're comparing going off to college, university for $2,000 for a doctor's degree to paying hundreds and thousands of dollars by the time you graduate for a liberal arts degree. Times are not the same, and it's depressing. It really does depress you. Dating in your 20s sucks. It sucks because people suck. You just have to find out who you are willing to go through life's challenges with. People suck. Okay, I'm glad to be married. People are narcissistic. Not to say that once you get married that all of these things go away, because it definitely don't. It's just enhanced, actually. But people are selfish. Everything is about the social media, exposing your relationship and trying to show everybody how good you live in, how good we look because we matching outfits and matching shoes and we holding hands on the beach. Like, it's a game. Honestly, everything is a game. I've had so many people ask me advice on marriage, but then I see how these same people live, and I'm like, first of all, I can't even take you seriously because you don't even take yourself serious. You asking me marriage advice and you still screwing John, Jacob, and the Baptist. You still out here hoeing with Sally, Keisha, and Tamika. You still out here looking at Big Booty Nancy. And you asking me for marriage advice. Don't ask me nothing because I don't take you seriously, because you don't take yourself seriously. Thank you. That's my advice for you. Don't date nobody until you're ready to date. If you want to mess around with whomever, whenever, do that. But don't date. You trying to date and be with everybody and their mamas? That's some teenage stuff. Child, I don't take nobody seriously in their 20s. And you may be toying with the idea of settling down, which is great. It's great if you are really ready and if you are knowing what you want out of a partner, knowing what you bring as a partner to the table. That's great. If you could do that in your 20s, that is great. More power to you. Kudos to you. But if you're not ready and you're thinking about settling down, toying with the idea of settling down, just eat a Snickers, because you're not yourself when you're hungry. Put the brakes on. Put the brakes on it. Just wait until you're ready. If you want to party it up, this is the time to party it up. And you have to think, like, in your 20s, people looking good now, okay? Like, your old history teacher, the one that you was like, how do he even live a regular life outside of school? He's starting to look good to you now. People's daddies are starting to look good to you now. Bodies are developed. People out here shapely. People looking good in these streets now in their 20s. Unless you are ready, have fun. Just have fun. This is the time to live your best life. You need your friends. You need your friends. If you don't have friends, you need to make some friends, which is hard. Being in your 20s and making friends is a really hard thing to accomplish, because you usually build your friendships in your teens and then in your college. Once you're out of college, it's so hard. The friends that you thought you would have from high school, even from freshman year of college, by the time you are a senior in college and graduating, almost none of those friends are to be found. Almost none of them. Like, hear me when I say that. If you are going from high school to college, or whatever you decide to do after high school, if you still have those same friendships and all of them are still your friends, then most likely y'all not really doing nothing with y'all lives. But if you guys are doing something with your lives and you guys are all still friends the way that you guys were in high school, then that's a blessing and you need to hold on to that. But make an effort to be a good friend. Now this is the time where you need your friends. Like, not saying that you didn't need your friends in high school, but you need your friends as a 20-year-old. You're going to start going through life's challenges. Life is going to start to test you. And because you're learning and you're stumbling through and you literally just were a kid, it's going to hit you like a sack of rocks, okay? Like a boulder fell on top of you. Your 20s are going to lift you up and crack you on the back of your cranium. Like, you're going down. And you have to figure out how to deal with life. But you are going to need your friends to keep you grounded, to be like, you know what, girl, hey, let's go to the club today. Or let's go on a hike today. Let's go to the beach. Let's go to the water and just chill out. Let's just go and just talk it out. For a lot of us, most of us probably, our friends are like scattered around the states, the country, the world probably at this point, because everybody is now, they're coming into themselves. And now they're trying to find themselves, and they're getting job offers, and they're getting married, they're starting families. It's not easily accessible to get to them anymore. Those friendships start to like drift apart until it's just no friendship anymore. And as sad as it is, it's very common. It's very common. You're not the only person, and you may end up feeling like you're lonely. You may get to a point where you feel like you're going through life by yourself and no one understands and no one is there for you. And so you must make an effort to keep your friendships strong. Don't be so hard on yourself. It's so easy to be so hard on yourself in this time because of everything that I've mentioned above. It's so hard, and you're going to make mistakes. You're going to feel like you are the worst person in the world because you don't have mommy and daddy to clean up your mistakes. You don't have mommy and daddy to tell you no, 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 no. And you may have mommy and daddy to tell you no, 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 no. For some of us, we don't have mommy just saying no, 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 no. Don't do that. Don't touch that fire or whatever. Now we're just jumping full force, cannonball into the fire, and we come out burnt. And then you feel like you're the worst person because you can't take back the things that you've done. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to stumble. You're going to lose jobs. You're going to get really great job offers. You're going to do all of these things. Don't be so hard on yourself. Do not compare yourself. And I know it is easier said than done. What Sue and Sally had to do to get where they are today may not be the path for you. Okay, you may not want to do what Sue and Sally did to get what they have today. You just never know. Do not compare your journey to anybody else's. You are still young. You are so young. You have your whole entire life ahead of you. So you're going to make mistakes. Mistakes are a part of life. The only significant thing about mistakes is what you learn from them. And honey, for you not to have a blueprint on this thing, you are doing great. For you not to have a point A to point Z life hacks, how to do it right from A to Z, you are doing great. And your mistakes doesn't make you a bad person. It just means you had to learn from it, and you just got to keep rolling with the punches, honey. That's all you can do from there is roll with the punches. People are now maybe looking up to you as a mentor because you're no longer a teenager. You are the next step ahead from being a teenager. So maybe teenagers and little kids are looking up to you now. They may be looking at you as a mentor, but let me tell you, in this stage of your life, you also need a mentor and you need a therapist. And I feel like even 30-year-olds need a mentor. You don't need a therapist for just the bad things. Like, you just need somebody to talk to, especially if you don't have no friends. You just need somebody to talk to and to know that they are there for you. So a therapist could be used for good or bad situations. And we are now in the age where we could do it all. Like, we could be watching Cartoon Network while filing our taxes. It's lit. Being in your 20s are lit. And lastly, don't give up. The game may seem rigged because it is rigged, but you're going to learn the game, and the game may change at some point, but you're going to learn the game and you are going to excel at it. So don't give up and never feel like you are alone. Signed, a fellow 20-year-old. Comment down below how you feel as a 20-year-old. Are you a teenager about to be 20? What are some of the challenges that you face as a 20-year-old? I promise you, you are not alone. If you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like. Also, do subscribe and turn on your post notifications because YouTube has been tripping and some of my followers are saying that they're not getting any of my posts. So make sure you turn on those post notifications. Also, if you guys would like to be featured in any of my future videos, go ahead and comment. And also, you must be subscribed. But in your comment, you must include hashtag Hey Cousins, so that I could know that you would like to be featured in my videos. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.